Welcome, friends. My name is Avinash Gorakshekar, and I welcome all of you to another interesting episode of Konexio HighFlyers. Friends, in these episodes, we cover emerging companies from emerging sectors, and we make it a point to talk to the promoters and the top managements of such companies so that all of us can understand their companies in a much better way. We talk to the promoters and the top managements and get a better feel on the business model, on the growth journey, and the future performance of the companies. And today, friends, we've got a very interesting company which operates in the logistics space and which is going to enter the capital markets very soon. The company's name is Brace Sports Logistics Limited, and we have the privilege of having the promoter and the top management team. We have Mr. Yashpal Sharma, who's the chairman and non-executive director with us. Yashpalji, thank you very much for sparing your valuable time with us today. We also have Mr. Sachin Arora, who's the managing director of the company. Sachinji, welcome to you also. Thank you very much. And we also have Mr. Himanshu Chhabra, who's the non-executive director of the company. हिमांशु जी आपको भी बहुत बहुत थैंक यू so gentlemen thank you very much for all of you to spare your valuable time. In fact, in this small interaction, I'm pretty confident that we'll be able to understand the company's operations in a much better way. So let's start. So first question which I would like to ask Sachin ji. Basically, Sachin ji, if you could give us some background about the company का business model क्या है, इसकी domestic और international market में positioning क्या है, and if you could tell us, something about your business journey. How did this business start? Was it a first generation kind of effort, or was it a second generation which has taken over from the first generation? तो इसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
Thank you, Avinash ji, and appreciate your time with us. Let me give you a brief introduction about Braceport. Braceport is a logistics company, and we deal in anything and everything which is moving from one corner to other corner. It can be a small needle to a big machinery. And we started this company in 2020 during the lockdown period, wherein it was a tough time for entire industry, for mankind, for people. For it was a tough time. So coming back to my background, I was working with All Cargo Logistics Company, which is a very big company in logistics industry, and we had been handling shipments all over the world. So in 2020, we decided to change our portfolio from an employee to entrepreneur, and we met Mr. Yashpal Sharma, who is industry veteran. We proposed them that yes, we have a dream to create a platform which can lead to a certain high level, catering to customers who are not only in India but also outside country. So somehow we decided, and we made this Braceport Logistics Private Limited in 2020 as a JV company of Skyways Group. Just to give you an idea on Skyways, also Skyways is the #1 air company since last 7 years, and having offices all over India and in 7 outside country also. So in 2020, we joined hands. We started with a few general products, which is LCL, FCL, and transportation. And then we started our journey by adding different verticals like Roro, which is a very niche vertical, and not every freight forwarder does it. So we started with 609 cars in a single lot. That was our first contract from a very big auto giant. I'm happy to share the name of that company, which is Ford Automobile. And we moved their vehicles from China to Thailand and to Cambodia. So that was a very booming start for us, because of our expertise, because of our passion, because of our product knowledge. We got this vertical setup in 2022, and till date we've been carrying lot of automobiles globally, not only in India but yes, globally, be it Europe, be it Thailand, Japan, Cambodia. We are present through our strong agency network. Coming back to this JV, with this JV, we have presence in more than 32 locations in India and 7 countries outside India. Other than this, we have presence in more than 69 countries through our network partners. We, as a Braceport, are part of big 3 networks. One is X2 Elite, second one is CFN, and third one is FNC. And through these networks, we are, catering to all the customers globally for their ocean, for their air, for their heavy lifts, and for their auto vertical. So this is a strength of the company. And in 2021, during post COVID, we were capable enough to move lot of medical supplies, including oxygen concentrators, oxygen plants, and not only importing into India, but yes, we were very much confident and capable enough to distribute it to every corner of India for our own citizens. So that was, a blessing wherein Braceport was instrumental in helping our own people during that tough time. So in 2023, we decided to convert this company from private limited to public limited, and now we are, moving ahead on this dream. And the team is good. Everybody in our team has got good experience, good product knowledge, and with our experience, we've been not only working with private limited companies, but yes, companies like PSUs are also our customers in Braceport.
Okay. I think very nicely articulated, Sachinji. That in our business, when you get new customers, is it a consignment based kind of business, like from point A to point B, you got to deliver the product, or is it, or are there some customers which have got long term contracts with you? Do you have a mix of both kinds of these customers currently with the company?
Yes, this is a very good question, especially good for investors. See, we've been catering to customers from A class to B class. How we categorize these customers are on the basis of volume. A customer who does a 2 shipment a month is also working with us since last 4 years. A customer who has a volume of more than 100 containers per month or 100 vehicles per month is also working with us, because this logistics industry is very volatile in terms of rates, good services, because of our diversified products, which includes air, ocean, transportation, custom clearance, door to door pickup, warehousing, and distribution. We've been continuing with all the customers from day one up till date. So there is no long term contract, but yes, the association is long term.
Okay, understood. I think very nicely explained again, Sachinji. Sachinji, now tell me one thing that typically, in terms of the kind of number of customers, what could be the size of the customers? You all have started this customers 4 years back. Could it be at least 50 customers or 100 customers, just to understand, the kind of depth and maturity which you all have achieved in the business? So if you could just share some inputs here.
Yes. In terms of the number of clients, yes, I can happily tell you that every year we are adding a good number of customers. And as I already mentioned, the customers who started with the day of inception with us are still working with us. If you ask us the ballpark figure, it will be plus 1,000 customers who are, associated with Braceport, not only for international movement, but also for domestic movement or services which they, expect from Braceport within India, which includes, door-to-door deliveries, custom clearances, any licensing in documentation, or any activity which is required to help them in logistics.
Okay, understood. Now, Sachinji, on the product side and on the services side, if you could tell us, what are the main, product and services which you offer for both ocean freight as well as for sea freight. Basically, ocean and air freight, because these are the basic two segments for the company in which it operates. तो सर कौन कौन से ऐसे सर्विसेज है, अगर इफ यू कैन जस्ट गिव अस सम आइडिया as to what are the kind of services, whether they are customized or whether they are off the shelf, इसके बारे में कुछ बताइए.
See, Braceport has expertise in handling logistics from door to door, which includes pickup from any corner of India through on trucks, bringing it to the ICDs, doing the stuffing in the containers, getting it custom cleared, and then moving it by ocean or by air, whatever is the requirement of the customer. So we have expertise in doing it. But yes, our niche product is our Roro product, which means roll on and roll off. We have expertise, and in Roro, a cargo which has wheels and which cannot be fitted in container is moved. These are specified vessels, Roro vessels, wherein we load automobiles and we move it from one end to another end. Just to give you an example, as I already told you that first movement and first biggest contract in Roro was of 609 cars, which was in a single consignment from China to Thailand and China to Cambodia. That was the initial step wherein we marked our presence in international market with our expertise, and we delivered it successfully. After that, we started movement from Turkey also under same model, which is Roro. Now we have started moving vehicles which are not only gasoline vehicles but also EV vehicles under specialized container stuffing. So I can proudly say that this is the niche sector wherein Braceport is the expert company moving automobiles all over the globe, and the competition in this sector is very less. I can say it's close to nil. So this is the main product of Braceport out of entire logistics chain.
Okay. And I think very nicely explained, Sachin ji. Now, Yashpal ji, sir, sorry for keeping you waiting. Yashpal ji, now on the industry side, if you could, share your thoughts that what is the kind of opportunity for logistic players in India, especially for a company like ours. We have got 50% revenue coming from domestic, 50% coming from exports.
Yeah, very good afternoon to everybody here. It's a pleasure to be on your platform, and thank you for bringing all of us in. So, first of all, let me tell you that logistics as an industry is very directly proportional to the businesses overall. So, if in any part of the world the industry is growing or businesses are growing, logistics automatically is for sure growing, because we are there to provide solutions to every producer or every consumer in the world. While any and every industry can stop, logistics as an industry will never stop. And that is something that was seen in COVID also, that everything came to a stop, but logistics industry kept going, and it also made sure that the world keeps going. Now, coming back to the potential in India, as we all know, over the last couple of or last 10 years, we have seen massive push for industrialization in India. There has been a big push from the government of India to bring in more and more production to the Indian shores, and even showcase India as a possible China plus one factory to the whole world. And we have seen many of the Indian industries put in more and more investment in the country, as well as companies from around the world, big large corporations from around the world coming and investing in India. So which is definitely been one of the key source of why the India story for the next 2 or 3 decades looks very solid. And with the various schemes that the government is coming out with, the PLI scheme, for example, is giving a huge boost to India to produce more, and various sectors are getting a huge influx of investment from around the world, and the government is trying to subsidize them through schemes like the PLI to boost production in those areas. Not just the traditional products, but the new age products like electronic goods, consumer goods, chips, automotive, even Boeing, Airbus, defense sector. a lot of these sectors are seeing a huge amount of investment and support from the government. At the same time, the government is also pushing for the logistics improvement in the country. We are seeing a lot of investments coming into the ports, to the airports, and the other road and sea infrastructure in the country. Even the inland waterways through the Bharatmala Sagarmala project is coming and taking a lot of prominence. So what that is doing is that it's creating a great ecosystem and a great opportunity for tomorrow's businesses to thrive and grow. And also it is likewise giving opportunity for all logistics companies in India to find and create a bigger share of business from the market. So the potential in India to grow business is absolutely and really, really solid. Coming to what Braceport is doing, and Braceport's complete business today is, I mean, almost 99% is international business. Part of that business is sold in India, part of business is sold outside of India, but it's largely on the exempt trade. So it's either exports, imports, or third country. They are not yet focusing into the domestic market, but definitely that is part of the plan going forward. As so much of the consumption in India is getting a big push. So obviously each one of the consumer which is based in anywhere in the country is also seeking to get logistics services, and that will be one of the areas where Braceport will focus in the future. But at the moment, the entire focus is to increase our footprint across the country.
Okay, Yashpalji, now the next question to you is, typically we are present both on the ocean freight as well as on the air freight segments. Now, in your assessment, in the next, say, 3 to 5 years, sir, what could be the focus area? Will it be ocean freight, which will gather the major part of revenue for our company, or do you think both these segments are equally complementary? When you talk about logistic business, so sir, आपको क्या लगता है दोनों segments में growth आएगा, या whether ocean freight will continue to be dominant for a company like ours? Currently we are, I think, largely ocean freight driven, but in your sense, will there be a kind of shift on one segment, or both segments will be equally complementary to each other for us?
So when Braceport started its operations, it was primarily into the ocean services. Though they carried out a lot of air charters to carry out those PPE kits and the oxygen concentrators, but they were still largely a ocean-driven company. But if you look at the last 12 to 15 months, a sizable amount of air freight business has also set in. So the idea is to provide solutions to customers, bring customers on board, and customers have all the needs. They would have ocean, they would have surface transportation, they would have air. So all kinds of needs would be there. And we as logistics companies, we want to make sure that all our solutions are actually designed for the customer. So I would not want to say that we are going to focus only on one area. The idea would be to bring more quality customers on board. And because the group has a capability to service all businesses, because of the background that we have, we will be able to ensure that the needs of all these customers are taken care of.
Okay, so understood. Fine, fine. I think Sachin ji, now the next question to you is, since you are an industry veteran, in the logistics sector, this question is basically on the level of competitive intensity. See, we know there are many logistic companies, but in your assessment, typically if you don't look at the financials, but the qualitative aspects of our business, what is it that actually differentiates our company with other players in the industry? I mean, हम ऐसा क्या करते हैं जो customers हमारे service से काफी अच्छे impressed है? Do they like our execution? Do they like our service? They stick with us for a long time. So in your assessment, 2, 3 qualitative points, which you can, share with us, which can help us understand your company's, DNA in a much better way. So if you could please share your thoughts.
Yes, Avinashji. One major difference is our expertise and our product knowledge into our niche sector, which is Roro, as I already explained you. Two, our team is very much efficient. They are very much prompt, and they don't work in a 9 to 6 job. But yes, they are available all the time unless they are sleeping. They are very prompt. This is the prime requirement of the customer. Second, because of our infrastructure, as I already told, with this JV with Skyways, we have presence all over India with owned offices and 7 outside country offices also. So product knowledge, our expert customer service, which is very prompt, and our niche sectors. These are the 3 main key ingredients, which is putting us above the competition.
What is the degree of pricing power in our business? Like typically, since you said that most of the business is not long-term oriented, I mean pricing sir हमारे contracts में कैसे factor in होता है based on the volume, based on the distance. Sir इसके बारे में बताइए कि finally how does the the pricing work for a particular customer? Does it fluctuate very widely, or is it customized for a particular customer based on his relationship with the company, based on the business he does with us? So if you could please share these points.
Yes, pricing always depend upon one, the investment of freight, two, the port pairs, three, the kind of product we are carrying. Any product which needs some premium services in terms of shorter transit, the best routes available, the price will be higher as compared to a commodity which is not price sensitive or which is not time sensitive. So there will be always difference in pricing of certain commodities as compared to other commodities. Also, yes, customers, there are mix and match of customers. One customer which will only need a lower price. Second customer will need a shorter transit and fast deliveries. He will not ask for negotiation or reduced price. And coming back to our negotiation skills, as already explained, air, we are number one IATA, and we do lot of businesses with all the major airlines. So our rates are competitive in air industry, and because of our good experience of more than 2 decades in logistics industry, we have good relationship with the carriers, which gives us muscle power to negotiate most of the contracts.
Okay. I think fine. This is very well explained by you, Sachin. Now broadly, within our current revenue, what could be the key sectors which actually dominate our business? Like, is it manufacturing, or is it as Ishpal ji said that ज़्यादातर export का ही business होता है, export import का. So what are the products which typically, like you gave an example of Ford cars, for your Oros business segment. Anything apart from automotive or maybe pharmaceuticals, any other sector which actually you all are catering to as of now, and which you think will continue to flourish going forward?
Yes, other than auto verticals, we are also expert in handling pharmaceuticals because of our warehouse, which has also cold storage facility, which not other founders may have, and our own fleet of trucks, wherein we have temperature control trucks, which facilitates us to move temperature control shipment from door to door. And these are the few strength wherein we are carrying lot of pharmaceutical businesses also. And going forward, we have a strategy in place to add more and more specialized industry verticals into our kitty.
Oh, fine. Himanshu ji, now next question to you. Sorry to keep you waiting for a long time. Himanshu ji, just wanted to understand, you were looking at your company's financials for FY24 compared to last year. Now, one thing which is very evident is, FY23, we had a revenue of roughly about 70 crores. This year it is 55 crores. Now, first of all, I want to understand, what was the reason for this dip in revenue? Was it a one-off, or because of some extra, some factor which was outside our control? And secondly, going forward in the current year, we are already now into FY25. So typically, in the current year, without giving a number, what is the kind of sense you are getting in terms of the business expectations from customers? What are customers saying on the ground? Sir, इसके बारे में बताइए.
Yeah, thank you so much for the very relevant question. So, factually, the dip in the revenue number is a component of the price fluctuation that happened, in the first half of FY24. So, as we have seen during the COVID time, a lot of capacities got added by the shipping lines, and in anticipation of huge increase in the global trade volumes. So once this kind of a blip or a dip in the freight rates was anticipated, and you would have seen all the logistics companies in FY24, most of the logistics companies had a even a 40 to 50% kind of a revenue number dip because of the first 6-7 months. The price correction was very severe, which was cumulative effect of the last 3 years of a very high price regime. So as we now move along, the prices have stabilized, and the global offtake of the commodities and the global trade is has picked up very, very nicely. It's not only about India as a country. I think all the originating economies are pushing up the volumes, and the consumption globally is on the right track. So, obviously, as you mentioned, we can't share the numbers, but the future on the price stabilization and on the volume growth looks pretty decent for Braceport. And in future, all the commodities and the niche product which Braceport has, and the service deliverance which is now proven over the last 4 years, the repeat customer value is increasing. So, and the EV segment is very, very focus area for the leadership. And we all know how the world is moving towards the electrification of the global vehicle regime. And we are very hopeful that these new age businesses where Braceport is experiencing surge will be very, very promising for them in the future as well. And not only on the ocean side, on the chartering business as well, the future is very, very good. The government, the outlook for the air freight business till 2030 is almost 2.5 to 3x, which the government is envisaging, which augurs well not only for Braceport but also for all other logistics companies which operate in the segment. And the companies who are ready to bend their back and provide excellence in their services, the repeat business will continue to happen.
Okay. I think nicely explained, Himanshu ji. Now tell me one thing. I've got two questions, which are related to the financial aspect. Typically, what is the benefit of operating leverage? You have a X capacity, and obviously, when demand goes up and volumes go up, does the operating margin improve? And is it a function of increased volume throughput which you execute during the year? So obviously, if you do more volume, uh, can we expect the operating margins to actually inch up much better? Or is it like that? Or basically it all depends on the pricing, you all enter with the customer. So सर पहले इसके बारे में बताइए कि ऑपरेटिंग लिवरेज इस धंधे में है कि अगर मेरे पास कैपेसिटी है, अच्छा बिजनेस आता है, स्केलेबिलिटी बढ़ती है, तो ऑब्वियसली वॉल्यूम बढ़ेगा तो मेरा ऑपरेटिंग मार्जिन भी सिग्निफिकेंटली बढ़ने की चांसेस होते हैं.
So very, very nice question. So operating margins in the segment that Braceport is operating is they are doing, I think, one of the best margins in the logistics industry. So as we will it will depend more on the product mix rather than a pure scale of the operation scaling up and the operating margins improving. So as long as Braceport is able to bring in more niche businesses and sustain those niche products, the margins will be stable as they are at a very, very already high levels. But
Exactly.
if the margin sustainability is even continued, the scale will bring in more absolute EBITDA for sure. On the margin side, it will obviously depend on the product mix that the company is able to maintain between the niche businesses and the vanilla logistics businesses that are there.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Sachin ji, now one question which is quite important is that, again, without giving a number to us, if you could tell us normally, sir, हम कितना client customers के order book करते हैं? Like every 2 months, do we have a kind of a order book system, and then accordingly we plan our operations? Does it work like that in our business? First of all, tell me whether it is right or wrong. If you could please help.
See, in logistics industry, we are working with all the corporate customers. We don't work with middlemen like forwarders and CHs. We only deal with good manufacturing units, good corporate institutions, and they are not the small timers. The logistics is like the orders are always continuously going on. Either it's import, either it's export. Just to give you an example, any distributor of auto industry ordering 100 cars a month will keep on ordering cars months on months. So for all our customers, yes, orders are continuous, but they don't share order book with us because of some confidentiality. They want to keep it confidential, but yes, the clientele which we carry, they have regular business going forward.
Oh, understood. Sachinji, now the most important question for this interview, if you could please tell us, some inputs on the company's capital raising plans, like, what is the size of the offer, for what purpose is this money going to be used? So if you could please share some inputs for our investors.
So I'll pass on this question to Mr. Himanshu. He'll explain you very well on the financial part.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Avinashji, the issue is very, very small. So it's 24.41 crores on the upper band, and majority of the money is going to go into the working capital needs of the company. So the company is already a debt-free company with a positive cash on the balance sheet. But as Braceport will target more and more corporate customers, and try to give competition to all the leading logistics companies of the world, we will have to abide by the credit norms which are prevalent in the business, in the industry. Yes, so the working capital needs of the company will be extensive going forward, as the business will increase over the next 3 years from the current levels, and that's why the most of the money is going into the working capital, and rest will go into the general corporate purpose and the IPO expenses. So
Okay.
the intent is not to